It's the Lakes area's most wanted. We are cleaning up the criminals in our area and need your help. Have you seen any of these people?
Kent Dean Custer, age 21. He's 5 feet 11 inches tall, 165 pounds with hazel eyes and blonde hair. He's wanted for felony vehicle theft. Derek James Krause, age 20. He's 6 feet 1 inch tall, 250 pounds with hazel eyes and brown hair. He's wanted for felony burglary. Eldon Nino Comad, age 27. He's 6 feet 1 inch tall, 220 pounds with green eyes and brown hair. He's wanted on 2 warrants for felony theft. Richard Bernard Jones, age 43. He's 6 feet tall, 280 pounds with brown eyes and black hair. He's wanted for 2 warrants for felony controlled substances. Robbie Lee Stumbo, age 28. He's 5 feet 11 inches tall, 210 pounds. He's wanted for misdemeanor 5th degree assault. Robert Allen Wensloff III, age 30. He's a white male, 5 feet 11 inches tall, 170 pounds. He's wanted for gross misdemeanor for 4th degree burglary. Gregory Dean Taylor, age 42. He's 5 feet 11 inches tall, 215 pounds. He's wanted for gross misdemeanor aggravated DWI.
The Lakes area's most wanted. We're cleaning up the streets. Remember, if you see any of these people, do not approach them. Call your local law enforcement office. And now, a word from our area law enforcement.
I'm Chad Jutz from the Detroit Lakes Police Department. I'm one of the 2 investigators here. I want to talk to you about fingerprinting today. We have many different techniques that we can use for different kinds of material and also different situations that we get into. Unlike TV, where they get a fingerprint off of a pop can or a car window or a building or a door or something, and they enter it into the computer and they have a picture of the guy there within 2 minutes, that's pretty unreal and unlikely it's going to happen. In the real world, we have to dust for prints or fume or do whatever we're going to do. And then if we have something that is suitable for a comparison, we can send that into our BCA lab, the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension in the cities or in Bemidji, and we can ask them to compare it to regular fingerprints. One of the ways most commonly used is the lift with fingerprint tape. And what we do is we will find an item that we want to look for fingerprints on, and we will either fume that, which is using the vapors from super glue. We have a couple different ways to do that, and that will kind of lock in the ridges of the fingerprint, and it will also make it a little more durable for us when we try to lift it. And then what we use is fingerprint powder, and it's almost like the consistency of baby powder but different colors for different applications. And if we do find one, we need to mark it, label it, photograph it, and then we lift it with basically clear sticky tape that's specialized for that. And you can see here, I've marked one. This is just a sample print that I've taken, and it shows up black, and it's nice and clear. And what they do is they put a backlight to it, and they blow it up real big, and they can compare it with other ones. It's a lot easier now because of computerization. They can go through and digitally enter this into a computer and run it. Another way we can do is, say you have a light bulb or like the bottom of a pop can that's concave. If you have a fingerprint in there, the tape will bubble or bulge and it will wrinkle and it doesn't really get a nice print. What we have is we call microsil, and this stuff comes in either white or brown. And what you can do is if you get a print, once again fume it, dust it, however we're going to prepare it. And once you have a fingerprint you want to lift, this stuff is in the form of like silly putty. Actually, it's more of a liquid form, and you smear it on there and let it dry. And what that does is it will lift the print off exactly how it is off of the different textured surfaces. And then what we do with this is we generally put it on a clear backing sheet like we would do for a regular fingerprint. We put it on there and we put a piece of clear tape over it, and that will protect it through any shipping to the lab. Another thing we can use is magnetic powder, and that's not quite as messy as dust. What we can use here is I had somebody touch this piece of paper, and you take magnetic powder, and it's just metal shavings basically, and you rub over the whole paper and it will stick to whatever's on there. A lot of times if a piece of paper has been used or if it's older, the stuff soaks in more and there's not as much texture, or the amino acids and stuff in your fingers are what actually stick to the paper. Sometimes they won't detect that. We also have some stuff called menhydrin that we can submerge the paper in, and then once it comes out of there, when it dries, it will actually turn the fingerprints purple on the piece of paper, and that works a little better for older fingerprints. Fuming, what I was talking to you about, we have a little fuming wand that we can use out on the scene, and this is actually a little torch, and it has these little tips that go on there, and they have super glue embedded in steel wool. And you start this up, and the fumes actually, it burns out the end, and the fumes create a smoke, and you can basically fume or smoke an item with this stuff. And like I said, that will lock the fingerprints in, and it also helps them to stand out. What this is really handy for is, say you have a safe at a business or at a home that's been broke into or touched. You can go in there, you don't have to bring it here to try and put it in a fuming chamber. Or if you have a large item or the inside of a vehicle, for instance, if it's been stolen, you can fume with a fuming wand like this. Now, this stuff is pretty stinky and it's hard on your eyes, so if you have it in a small confined area, sometimes that's a little bit of a problem, but otherwise this is very handy to use and makes the fingerprints more durable to lift. We also have some camphor, it's called. What you do with this is used for galvanized metals, say for the instance the inside of a pop machine. What you can do is you light this on fire and it has a real black sooty smoke, and what we do with that is we go over the area that we want to fingerprint with that black sooty smoke, and it gets all black, and then we take a feather duster and we dust it off of there, and the soot will actually stick to the fingerprints on galvanized metal better than one of our powders or the magnetic powder will.
Thank you for watching the Lakes Area's Most Wanted.